Hello, and welcome to the UVic Drama and Musical Theater production of A Comedy of Errors by William Shakespeare. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge, with respect, the Wakongan peoples on whose traditional territory the University of Victoria stands, and the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wasanich peoples whose historical relationships with the land continue to this day. A Comedy of Errors is produced by the UVic Drama and Musical Theater Company, directed by Kevin Eastman, stage managed by Margie Stoner, with wardrobe and props coordination by Katerina Kurz. For a full list of our wonderful cast, please check below the description of the video. If you would like to support the DMTC, please consider going to our Buy Me a Coffee in the video description and pledging. We work off donations, so every little bit helps. And don't forget to follow our social medias, once again in the description below. Finally, please take your time to peruse our online program when you have the chance for a more in-depth look at our wonderful cast, below as well. Our company has worked very hard and is thrilled to bring you this show about confusion, absurdity, and mistaken identity. We hope that just as the works of Shakespeare helped to give the people of London in the 16th century a reprise from the Black Death, that our show can help you escape from the current plague we find ourselves in. Thank you very much for joining us for our production of A Comedy of Errors by William Shakespeare. Thank you very much for supporting theater in such a trying time, and please, enjoy the show.
Proceed, Silenus, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death end woes and all.
Merchant of Syracuse, plead no more. I am not partial to infringe our laws. The enmity and discord which of late sprung from the rancorous outrage of your duke to merchants, our well-dealing countrymen, who, wanting guilders to redeem their lies, have sealed his rigorous statutes with their bloods, excludes all pity from our threatening looks. For since the mortal and intestine jars, twixt thy sedentist countrymen and us, it hath in solemn synods been decreed, both by Syracusans and ourselves, to admit no traffic to our adverse towns. Nay, more, if any born at Ephesus be seen in Syracusan marts and fairs, again if any Syracusan born come to the bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the duke's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied to quit the penalty and to ransom him. Thy substance, valued at highest rate, cannot amount unto 100 marks. Therefore, by law, thou art condemned to die.
Yet this is my comfort, when your words are done. My woes end likewise with the evening sun.
Well, Syracusan, say in brief the cause, why thou departest from thy native home, and for what cause thou camest to Ephesus.
A heavier task could not have been imposed than I to speak my griefs unspeakable. Yet that the world may witness that my end was wrought by nature, not by vile offense, I'll utter what my sorrow gives me leave. In Syracuse I was born, and wed unto a woman happy but for me, and by me had not her hap been bad. With her I lived in joy, our wealth increased by prosperous voyages I often made to Epidemium, till my factor's death and the great care of goods at random left drew me from my kind embracements of my spouse, from whom my absence was not 6 months old before herself, almost fainting under the pleasing punishment that women bear, had made provisions for her following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. There had she not been long, but she became a joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and which was strange, the one so like the other as could not be distinguished but by names. That very hour, and in the self-safe inn, a mean woman was delivered of such a burden, male twins both alike. Those, for their parents were exceeding poor, I bought and brought up to attend my sons. My wife, not meanly proud of 2 such boys, made daily motions for our home return. Unwilling, I agreed. Alas, too soon we came aboard. A league of epidemium had we sailed before the always wind-obeying deep gave any tragic instance of our harm. But longer did we not retain much hope, for what obscured light the heavens did grant, did but convey unto our fearful minds a doubtful warrant of immediate death, which, though myself would have gladly embraced, yet the incessant weeping of my wife, weeping before what she saw must come, and piteous plainings of the pretty babes, that mourned for fashion, ignorant what to fear, forced me to seek delays for them and me. And this it was, for other means was none. The sailors sought for safety by our boat, and left the ship then sinking ripe to us. My wife, more careful for the latter born, had fastened him unto a small spare mass, such as seafaring men provide for storms. To him one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been heedful of the other. The children thus disposed, my wife and I fixing our eyes on whom our care was fixed, fastening ourselves on either end of the mast, and floating straight obedient to the stream, was carried towards Corinth, as we thought. At the length the sun, gazing upon the earth, dispersed those vapors that offended us, and by the benefit of his wished light, the seas waxed calm, and we discovered 2 ships from far making a main to us, of Corinth this, of Epidarius that. And here they came. Oh, let me say no more. Gather the sequel by that went before.
Nay, forward, old man. Do not break off so, for we may pity, though not pardon thee.
Oh, had the gods done so, I had not now worthily termed them merciless to us. For ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon us, our helpful ship was splitted in the midst, so that in this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left us both of us alike, what to delight and what to sorrow for. Her part, poor soul, seemed burdened with lesser weight, but not with lesser woe, was carried with more speed before the wind, and in our sight they 3 were taken up by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length another ship had seized on us, and, knowing whom it was their hap to save, gave heedful welcome to the shipwrecked guests, and would have reft the fishers of their prey, had not their bark been slow of sail, and therefore homeward bound did they bend their course. Thus have you heard me severed from my bliss, and by misfortune my life prolonged to tell sad stories of my own mishaps.
And for the sake of them thou sorrowest for, do me the favor to dilate it full. What have befallen of them and thee till now?
My youngest boy, and yet my eldest care, at 18 years became inquisitive, after his brother, and importuned me that his attendant, so his case was like, reft of his brother, but retained his name, might bear him company in the quest of him, whom whilst I labored of loves to see, I hazarded the loss of whom I loved. 5 labors have I spent in farthest Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia, and coasting homeward came to Ephesus, hopeless to find, yet loath to leave unsought, or that or any place that harbors men. But here must end the story of my life, and haply were I in my timely death, could all my travels warrant me they live.
Hapless Egeon, whom the fates have marked to bear the extremity of dire mishap. Now trust me, were it not against our laws, against my crown, my oath, my dignity, which princes would they may not disannul, my soul should sue as advocate for thee. But though thou art adjudged to the death, and passed sentence may not be recalled, but to our honor's great disparagement, yet will I favor thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I'll limit thee this day to seek thy life by beneficial help. Try all the friends thou hast in Ephesus, beg or borrow to make up the sum, and live. If not, then thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him to thy custody.
Hopeless and helpless doth Egeon went, but to procrastinate his lifeless end.
Therefore, give out you are of Epidemium, lest your goods too soon be confiscate. This very day, a Syracusan merchant is apprehended for arrival here, and not being able to buy out his life, according to the statute of this town, dies ere the weary sun sets in the west. Here is your money that I had to keep.
Go, bear to the center where we host, and stay there, Dromio, till I come to thee. Within this hour it will be dinner time. Till that I'll view the manners of the town, peruse the traders, gaze upon the buildings, and then return and sleep within mine inn, for with long travel I am stiff and weary. Get thee away.
Many a man would take you at your word, and go indeed, having so good a mien.
A trusty villain, sir, that very often I am dull with care and melancholy, lightens my humor with his merry jests. What, will you walk with me about the town and then go to my inn and dine with me?
I am invited, sir, to certain merchants of whom I hope to make much benefit. I crave your pardon. Soon at 5 o'clock, please you, I'll meet with you upon the mart and afterwards consort you till bedtime. My present business calls me from you now.
Farewell till then. I will go lose myself and wander up and down to view the city.
Sir, I condemn you to your own content.
He that commends me to mine own content commends me to the thing I cannot get. I to the world am like a drop of water that in the ocean seeks another drop, who, falling there to find his fellow forth, unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I, to find a mother and a brother, in quest of them, unhappy, lose myself. But here comes the almanac of my true date. What now? How chance thou art returned so soon?
Return so soon? Rather approach too late! The capon burns, the pig falls from the spit, the clock hath strucken 12 upon the bell, my mistress made it 1 upon my cheek. She is so hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you come not home. You come not home because you have no stomach. You have no stomach, having broke your fast. But we that know what 'tis to fast and pray are penitent for your default today.
Stop in your wind, sir. Tell me this, I pray. Where have you left the money that I gave you?
Oh, 6 pence that I had Wednesday last to pay the saddler for my mistress's crupper. The saddler had it, sir. I kept it not.
I am not in a supportive humor now. Tell me, and dally not, where is the money? We being strangers here, how darest thou trust so great a charge out of thine own custody?
I pray you, sir, jest as you sit at dinner. I from my mistress come to you in post. If I return, I shall be posty indeed, for she will scour your fault upon my pate. Methinks your maw, like mine, should be your clock, and strike you home without a messenger.
Come, Dromio, come. These jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. Where is the gold I gave in charge to thee?
To me, sir? Why, you gave no gold to me?
Come on, sir knave, have done your foolishness, and tell me how thou hast disposed thy charge.
My charge was but to fetch you from the mart, home to your house, the Phoenix, sir, to dinner. My mistress and her sister stays for you.
Now, as I am a Christian, answer me in what safe place you have bestowed my money, or I shall break that merry sconce of yours that stands on tricks when I am indisposed. Where is the 1,000 marks thou hadst of me?
I have some marks of yours upon my pate, some of my mistress's marks upon my shoulders, but not 1,000 marks between you both. If I should pay your worship those again, perchance you will not bear them patiently.
Thy mistress's marks! What mistress, slave, hast thou?
Your worship's wife, my mistress at the Phoenix, she that doth fast till you come home to dinner, and prays that you will hie you home to dinner.
What, wilt thou flout me thus unto my face, being forbid? There, take that, sir knave!
What mean you, sir? For God's sakes, hold your hands. Nay, you will not. I'll take my heels.
Upon my life, by some device or other, the villain is o'erwrought of all my money. Oh, they say this town is full of cause and edges, nimbler jugglers that deceive the eye, dark-working sorcerers that change the mind, soul-killing witches that deform the body, disguised cheaters parading mountebanks, and many such like liberties of sin. If it proves so, I will be gone the sooner. I'll to the centaur and go seek this slave. I greatly fear my money is not safe.
Neither my husband nor the slave returned that in such haste I sent to seek his master. Sure, Luciana, it is 2 o'clock.
Perhaps some merchant hath invited him, and from the mart he's gone somewhere to dinner. Good sister, let us dine and never fret. A man is master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll go or come. If so, be patient, sister.
Why should their liberty than ours be more?
Because their business still lies out a door.
Look, when I serve him so, he takes it ill.
Oh, no, he is the bridle of your will.
There's none but asses will be bridle so.
Why, headstrong liberty is lashed with woe. There's nothing situate under heaven's eye, but hath his bound in earth, in sea, in sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are their male subjects and at their controls. Man, more divine, the master of all these, lord of the wide world and wild watery seas, endued with intellectual sense and souls, of more preeminence than fish and fowls, are masters to their females and their lords. Then let your will attend on their accords.
This servitude makes to keep you unwed.
Not this, but troubles of the marriage bed.
But you were wedded, you bear more sway.
Ere I learn to love, I'll practice to obey.
How if your husband starts some other where?
Till he come home again, I would forbear.
Patience unmoved, nor marvel though she pause. They can be meek that have no other cause. A wretched soul bruised with adversity, we bid be quiet when we hear it cry. But we were burdened with like weight of pain, as much or more we ourselves should complain. So thou that hast no unkind mate to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience would relieve me. But if thou live to see like right bereft, this full-begged patience in thee will be left.
Well, I will marry one day, but to try. Here comes your man. Now is your husband nigh.
Say, is your tardy master now at hand?
Nay, he's at 2 hands with me, and that my 2 ears can witness.
Say, didst thou speak with him? Knowest thou his mind?
Aye, he told me upon mine ear. Beshrew his hand, I could scarce understand it.
Spake he so doubtfully thou couldst not feel his meaning?
Nay, he struck so plainly I could too well feel his blows, and withal so doubtfully that I could scarce understand them.
But I say, I prithee, is he coming home? It seems he hath great care to please his wife.
Why, mistress, sure my master is horn mad.
Horn mad, thou villain!
I mean not cold mad, but sure he is stark mad. When I desired him to come home to dinner, he asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. 'Tis dinner time, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Your meat doth burn, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Will you come, quoth I. My gold, quoth he. Where's the 1,000 marks I gave thee, villain? The pig, quoth I, is burned. My gold, quoth he. My mistress, sir, quoth I. Hang up thy mistress, I know not thy mistress, out on thy mistress.
Quoth who?
Quoth my master. I know, quoth he. No house, no wife, no mistress, so that my errand due onto my tongue, I thank him, I bear home upon my shoulders, for in conclusion he did beat me there.
Go back again, thou slave, and fetch him home.
To go back again and be beaten new home? For God's sake, send some other messenger.
Back, slave, or I will break thy pate across.
Then he will bless that cross with other beating. Between you I shall have a holy head.
Hence, prating peasant, fetch thy master home.
Am I so round with you as you with me, that like a football you do spurn me thus? You spurn me hence, and you will spurn me hither. If I last in this service, you must case me in leather.
Fie, how impatience lureth in your face.
His company must do his minion's grace, whilst I at home starve for a merry look. Hath only age the alluring beauty took from my poor cheek? Then he hath wasted it. Are my discourses dull? Barren my wits? If voluble and sharp discourse be marred, unkind blunts it more than marble hard. Do their gay vestments his affections bait? That is not my fault, he's the master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be found by him not ruined? Then he is the ground of my defeatures. My decayed fair, a sunny look of his would soon repair. But too unruly dear, he breaks the pail and feeds from home. Poor I am, but is stale.
Self-harming jealousy, fie, beat it hence.
Unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. I know his eyes doth homage otherwhere, or else what lets it be but he would be here? Sister, You know he promised me a chain. With that alone, O love, he would detain, so he would keep for a quarter with his bed. I see the jewel best enameled will lose his beauty, yet the gold bides still the others touch, and often touching will wear gold. Yet no man that hath a name by falsehood and corruption doth it shame. Since my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left away, and weeping die.
How many fond fools serve mad jealousy?
The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up safe at the Centaur, and the heedful slave has wandered forth in care to seek me out. By computation in mine host report, I could not speak with Dromio, since at first I sent him from the mart. See, here he comes. How now, sir? Is your merry humor altered? As you love stroke, so jest with me again. You know no Centaur, you received no gold. Your mistress sent me home to have me home to dinner. My house was at the Phoenix. Wast thou mad that thus so madly thou didst jest with me?
What answer, sir, when I spake such a word?
Even now, even here, not half an hour since.
I did not see you since you sent me hence, home to the Centaur with the gold you gave me.
Villain, thou didst deny the gold's receipt, and toldst me of a mistress and a dinner, for which I hope thou feltst I was displeased.
I am glad to see you in this merry vein. What means this jest, sir? I pray you, master, tell me.
It dost thou jeer and flow me in the teeth? Thinkst thou I jest?
Hold, for God's sakes! Now your jest is in earnest. Upon what bargain do you give it to me?
Because that I familiarly sometimes do use you for my fool and chat with you, your sauciness will jest upon my love and make a comment of my serious hours. When the sun shines, let foolish gnats make sport, but creep in crannies when he hides his beams. If you will jest with me, know my aspect, and fashion your demeanor to my looks, or I will beat this method in your sconce.
Sconce? Call you it? So you would leave battering? I had rather have it at a head, and you use these blows long. I must get a sconce for my head, and ensconce it too, or else I shall seek my wit in my shoulders. But I pray, sir, why am I beaten?
Dost thou not know?
Nothing, sir, but that I am beaten.
Shall I tell you why?
Aye, sir, and wherefore? For they say every why hath a wherefore.
Why first, for floating me, and then wherefore, for urging it the second time to me.
Was there ever any man thus beaten out of season? When in the why and the wherefore is neither rhyme nor reason? Well, sir, I thank you.
Thank me, sir, for what?
Marry, for this is something that you gave me for nothing.
I'll make you amends next to give you nothing for something. But say, sir, is it dinner time?
No, I think the meat wants that I have.
In good time, sir. What's that?
Basting.
Well, sir, then 'twill be dry.
If it be, sir, I pray you eat none of it.
Your reason?
Lest it make you choleric and purchase me another beating.
Well, sir, learn to jest in good time. There's a time for all things.
I durst have denied that before you were so choleric.
By what rule, sir?
Marry, sir, by a rule as plain as the plain bald pate of Father Time himself.
I knew 'twould be a bald conclusion. But soft, who wafts us yonder?
Hey, Antipholus! Look strange and frown. Some other mistress hath thy sweet aspects. I am not Adriana, nor thy wife. The time was once when thou wouldst urge that never words were music to thine ear, that never object pleasing in thine eye, that never touch will welcome to thy hand, that never meat sweet savored in thy taste, unless I spake, or looked, or touched, or carved to thee. How comes it now, my husband? Oh, how comes it that thou art estrangled from thyself? Thyself I call it, being strange to me, that undividable, incorporate, and better than thy dear self's better part. Oh, do not tear away thyself from me. For know, my love, as easy mayst thou fall a drop of water in the breaking gulf, and take unmingle hence that drop again, without addition or diminishing, as take from me thyself and not me too. How dearly would it touch thee to the quick, shouldest thou but hear I were licentious? Should thou in this body consecrate to thee, by ruffian lust should contaminate? Wouldst thou not spit at me, and spurn at me, and hurl the name of husband in my face, and tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and from my false hand cut the wedding ring, and break it with a deep divorcing vow? I know thou canst, and therefore see thou do it. I am possessed with an adulterated blot. My blood is mingled with the crime of lust. For if we two be one, and thou playest false, I do digest the poison of thy flesh, being strumpeted by thy contagion. Keep then, fair league, in truce within thy true bed. I live disdained, thou undishonored.
Plead you to me, fair dame? I know you not. In Ephesus I am but 2 hours old, as strange unto your town as to your talk, who every word by all my wits being scanned, wants wit in one word to understand.
By brother, how the world is changed with you. When were you wont to use my sister thus? She sent for you by Dromio home to dinner.
By Dromio?
By me?
By thee. And this thou didst return from him, that he did buffet thee, and in his blows deny my house from his, me from his wife.
Did you converse, sir, with this gentlewoman? What is the course and drift of your compact?
Aye, sir, I never saw her till this time.
Villain, thou lies, for even her very words didst thou deliver to me on the mart.
I never spake with her in all my life.
Well, how can she thus then call us by our names? Unless it be by inspiration.
How I'll agree with it, your gravity, to counterfeit thus grossly with your slave, abeating me him to thwart me in my mood. Be it my wrong you from you and me exempt, but wrong not that wrong with more contempt. Come, I will fasten on this sleeve of thine. Thou art an elm, my husband, I a vine, whose weakness, married to thy stronger state, makes me with thy strength to communicate. If aught possesses thee from me, it is dross, usurping ivy, brier, or idle moss, for who all of for want for pruning with intrusion, infect thy slap and live on thy confusion.
To me she speaks. She moves me for her theme. What, was I married to her in my dream? Or sleep I now and think I hear all this? What error drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure uncertainty, I'll entertain this offered fallacy.
Dromio, go bid the servant spread for dinner.
Thou, for my beads, I cross me for a sinner. This is the fairyland. Oh, spite of spites, we talk with goblins, owls, and sprites. If we obey them not, this will ensue. They'll suck our breath or pinch us black and blue.
Why pratst thou to thyself and answerst not? Dromio, thou snail, thou slug, thou sot.
Am I transformed, master? Am I not?
I think thou art in mind, and so am I.
Nay, master, both in mind and in my shape.
Thou hast thine own form.
No, I am an ape.
If thou art changed to aught, 'tis to an ass.
'Tis true, she rides me, and I long for grass. 'Tis so, I am an ass. Else it could never be, but I should know her as well as she knows me.
Come, come, no longer will I be the fool to put the finger in the eye and weep, whilst man and master laugh my woes to scorn. Come, sir, to dinner. Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I'll dine above with you today, and shrive you of 1,000 idle pranks. Sirrah, if anyone asks you for your master, say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. Come, sister. Dromio, play the porter well.
I in earth, in heaven, or in hell, sleeping or waking, mad or well advised, known unto these, and to myself disguised. Well, I'll say as they say, and persevere so, and in this mist at all adventures go.
Master, shall I be porter at the gate?
Aye, and let none enter lest I break your pate.
Come, come, Antipholus, we dine too late.
Good Signor Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife is shrewish when I keep not hours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop to see the making of her carcanet, and that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain that would face me down. He met me on the mart, and that I beat him and charged him with 1,000 marks in gold, and that I did deny my wife and house. Thou drunkard, thou, what didst thou mean by this?
Say what you will, sir, but I know what I know. That you beat me at the mart, I have your hand to show. If the skin were parchment and the blows you gave me were ink, your own handwriting would tell you what I think.
I think thou art an ass.
Marry, so it doth appear, by the wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear. I should kick being kicked, and being at that pass, you would keep from my heels and beware of an ass.
You're sad, Signor Balthazar. Pray our good cheer will answer my good will and your good welcome here.
I hold your dainties cheap, sir, and your welcome dear.
Oh, Signor Balthazar, either at flesh or fish, a table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish.
Good meat, sir, is common that every churl affords.
And welcome more common, for that's nothing but words.
Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast.
I to a miserly host and a more sparing guest. But though my cates be mean, take them in good part. Better cheer you may you have, but not with better heart. But soft, my door is locked. Go, bid them let us in.
Maud, Bridget, Marion, Cicely, Gillian, Gin, Mome, Malt Horse, Capon, Copscomb, Idiot, Patch. Either get thee from the door, or sit down at the hatch. Dost thou conjure for wenches, that thou dost call for such store, when now one is too many? Go, get thee from the door. What patch has made our porter? My master stays in the street. Let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch colds on feet.
Who talks within here? Ho, open the door.
Right, sir, and I'll let you in when you tell me wherefore.
Wherefore? For my dinner. I have not dined today.
Nor today here you must not. Come again when you may.
What art thou that keeps me out from the house I owe?
The porter for this time, sir, and my name is Dromio. Oh, villain, thou hast stolen both mine office and my name. The one ne'er got me credit, the other mickle blame. If thou hast been Dromio today in my place, thou would have changed thy face for a name, and thy name for an ass.
Who is that at the door that keeps all that noise?
By my troth, your town is troubled with unruly boys.
Are you there, wife? You might have come before.
Your wife, sir knave. Go get you from the door.
If you went in pain, master, this knave would go sore.
Here is neither cheer, sir, nor welcome. We would fain to have either.
In debating which was best, we shall part with neither.
They stand at the door, master. Bid them welcome hither.
There's something in the wind that we cannot get in.
You would say so, master, if your garments were thin. Your cake here is warm within. You stand here in the cold. It would make a man mad as a buck to be so bought and sold.
Go, fetch me something. I'll break open the gate.
Break any breaking here, and I'll break your knave's pate. A man may break a word with you, sir, and words are but wind. Aye, and break it in your face, so he break it not behind. It seems thou wants breaking. Out on thee, hind. Here's too much. Out on thee. I pray let me in. Aye, when fish have no feathers and fowl and fish have no fin.
Well, I'll break in. Go, borrow me a crow.
A crow without feather? Master, mean you so? For a fish without a fin, there's a fowl without a feather. If a crow help us in, sirrah, we'll pluck a crow together.
Go get thee gone. Fetch me an iron crow.
Have patience, sir. Oh, let it not be so. Herein you war against your reputation and draw within the compass of suspect the unviolated honor of your wife. Once this, your long experience of her wisdom, her sober virtue, years, and modesty, plead on her part some cause to you unknown, and doubt not, sir, but she will well excuse why at this time the doors are made against you. Be ruled by me, depart in patience, and let us to the Tiger all to dinner, and about evening come yourself alone to know the reason of this strange restraint. If by strong hand you offer to break in now, in the stirring passage of the day, a vulgar comment will be made of it against that, and that supposed by the common route against your yet ungalled estimation, that may with foul intrusion enter in and dwell upon your grave when you are dead, for slander lives upon succession, forever housed where it gets possession.
You have prevailed. I will depart in quiet, and, in despite of mirth, mean to be merry. I know a wench of excellent discourse, pretty and witty, wild and yet too gentle. There will we dine. This woman that I mean my wife, but I protest without desert, hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. To her will we to dinner. Get you home and fetch the chain. By this I know 'tis made. Bring it, I pray you, to the Porpentine, for there's the house. That chain will I bestow, be it nothing but to spite my wife, upon mine hostess there. Good sir, make haste. Since mine own doors refuse to entertain me, I'll knock elsewhere to see if they'll disdain me.
I'll meet you at that place some hour hence.
Do so. This jest shall cost me some expense.
And may it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office. Shall Antipholus, even in the spring of love, thy love springs rot? Shall love, in building, grow so ruinous? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake, use her with more kindness. Or, if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth.
Can we pause for just a second? Act 3, Scene 2, 1, 2, 3.
And may it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office. Shall Antipholus, even in the spring of love, thy love springs rot? Shall love in building grow so ruinous? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake, use her with more kindness. Or, if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle your false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. Be not thy tongue thy own shame's orator. Look sweet, speak fair. Become disloyalty. Apparel vice like virtue's harbinger. Bear a fair presence, though your heart be tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. Be secret false. What need she be acquainted? 'Tis double wrong to truant with your bed, and let her read it in thy looks at board. Shame hath a bastard fame, well managed. Ill deeds is doubled with an evil word. Alas, poor women, make us but believe, being compact of credit, that you love us. Though others have the arm, show us the sleeve, we in your motion turn, and you may move us. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain, when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife.
Sweet mistress, what else your name is, I know not, nor by what wonder you do hit of mine. Less in your knowledge and grace you show not than our earth's wonder, more than earth divine. Teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak. Lay open my earth's grossly conceit, smothered in errors, feeble, shallow, weak, the folded meaning of your words' deceit. Against my soul's pure truth, why labor you to make it wander in an unknown field? Are you a god? Would you create me new? Transform me then, and to your power I'll yield. But if that I am I, as well I know, your weeping sister is no wife of mine, nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more, far more to you do I decline. Oh, train me not, sweet mermaid, with thy note to drown me in thy sister's flood of tears. Sing, siren, for thyself, and I will dote. Spread o'er the silver waves thy golden hairs, and as a bed I'll take them and there lie, and in that glorious supposition think, he gains by death that hath such means to die. Yet let love, being light, be drowned if she sink.
What? Are you mad that you do reason so?
No, not mad, but mated. How I do not know.
It is a fault that springeth from your eye.
For gazing on thy beams, fair sun, being by.
Gaze when you should, and that will clear your sight.
Oh, as good to wink, sweet love, as look on night.
Why call you me love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister?
That's my sister.
No, it is thyself, mine own self's better part, mine eye's clearer eye, my dear heart's dearer heart, my food, my fortune, my sweet hope's aim, my soul earth's heaven, and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister sweet, for I am thee. Thee will I love, and with thee lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me your hand.
No, soft, sir. Hold you still. I'll fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
Ah!
Why, how now, Dromio? Why runst thou so fast?
Do you know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself.
I am an ass. I'm a woman's man, and besides myself.
What woman's man? And how besides thyself?
Marry, sir, besides myself, I am due to a woman, one that claims me, one that haunts me, one that will have me.
What claim lays she to thee?
Marry, sir, such claim that you would lay to your horse, and she would have me as a beast. Not that I, being a beast, she would have me, but that she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim to me.
What is she?
A very reverend body. I, such a man, may not say, without speaking, Sir Reverence. I have but lean luck in the match, and yet she's a wondrous fat marriage.
How dost thou mean a fat marriage?
Marry, sir, she's the kitchen wench, and all grease. I know not what to use her to, but make a lamp of her and run from her by her own light. I warrant her rags and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter. If she lives till doomsday, she'll burn a week longer than the whole world.
What complexion is she of?
Swart like my shoe, but her face nothing like so kept clean. For why? She sweats. A man may go over shoes in the grime of it.
That's a fault that water will mend.
No, sir, 'tis in the grain. Noah's flood could not do it.
What's her name?
Nell, sir, and her name in 3/4, that's an L in 3/4, will not measure her from hip to hip.
Oh, go, hide thee presently, post to the road. And if the wind blows any way from shore, I will not harbor in this town tonight. If any bark put forth, come to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. If everyone knows us, and we know none, 'tis time, I think, to trudge, pack, and be gone.
As from a bear a man would run for life, so I fly from her that would be my wife.
There's none but witches do inhabit here, and therefore 'tis high time that I were hence. She that doth call me husband, even my soul doth for a wife abhor. But her fair sister, possessed with such gentle sovereign grace, of such enchanting presence and discourse, hath almost made me traitor to myself. But lest myself be guilty to self-wrong, I'll stop my ears against the mermaid's song.
Master Antipholus.
Aye, that's my name.
I know it well, sir. Lo, here's the chain. I thought to have ta'en you at the Porpentine. The chain unfinished made me stay thus long.
What is your will that I will do with this?
Oh, what please yourself, sir. I have made it for you.
Made it for me, sir. I bespoke it not.
Not once nor twice, but 20 times you have. Go home with it and please your wife withal, and soon at supper time I'll visit, and then receive the money for the chain.
I pray you, sir, receive the money now, for fear you never see the chain nor money more.
You are a merry man, sir. Fare you well.
What I should think of this I cannot tell, but this I think. There's no man so vain that would refuse so fair an offered chain. I see a man here needs not live by shifts, when in the street he gets such golden gifts. I'll to the mart, and there for Dromio stay. If any ship put out, then straight away.
You know, since Pentecost the sum is due, and since I had not much importuned you, nor now I had not, but that I am bound to Persia and want guilders for my voyage. Therefore, make present satisfaction, or I'll attach you by this officer.
Even just the sum that I do owe to you is growing to me by Antipholus. And in the instant that I met with you, he had of me a chain. At 5 o'clock I shall receive the money for the same. Pleaseth you walk with me down to his house? I will discharge my bond and thank you too.
That labor may you save. See where he comes.
While I go to the goldsmith's house, go thou and buy a rope's end. That will I bestow among my wife and her confederates for locking me out of doors by day. But soft! I see the goldsmith. Get thee gone, and buy thou a rope, and bring it home to me.
I buy £1,000 a year. I buy a rope.
A man is well holp up that trusts you. I promised your presence in the chain, but neither chain nor goldsmith came to me. Belike you thought our love would last too long if it were chained together, and therefore came not.
Saving your merry humor, here's the note. How much your chain weighs to the utmost carat, the finesse of the gold and chargeful fashion, which doth amount to 3 odd ducats more than I stand debted to this gentleman. I pray you, see him presently discharged, for he is bound to the sea and stays but for it.
I am not furnished with the present money. Besides, I have some business in the town. Good signor, take the stranger to my house, and with you take the chain, and bid my wife disperse the sum on the receipt thereof. Perchance I will be there as soon as you.
Then you will bring the chain to her yourself?
No, bear it with you, lest I come not time enough.
Well, sir, I will have you the chain about you.
And if I have not, sir, I hope you have, or else you may return without your money.
Nay, come, I pray you, sir, give me the chain. Both wind and tide stays for this gentleman, and I to blame have kept him here too long.
Good lord! You use this dalliance to excuse your breach of promise to the porpentine. I should have chid you for not bringing it, but like a shrew, you first begin to brawl.
The hour steals on. I pray you, sir, dispatch.
You hear how he importunes me, the chain.
Why, give it to my wife and fetch your money.
Come, you know I gave it to you even now. Either send the chain or send by me some token.
Fie, you run this humor out of breath. Come, where's the chain? I pray you, let me see it.
My business cannot brook this dalliance. Good sir, say where you'll answer me or no. If not, I'll leave him to the officer.
I answer you? Why should I answer you?
The money that you owe me for the chain.
I owe you none till I receive the chain.
You know I gave it to you half an hour since.
You gave me none. You wrong me much to say so.
You wrong me more, sir, in denying it. Consider how it stands upon my credit.
Well, officer, arrest him at my suit. I do, and charge you in the Duke's name to obey me.
This touches me in reputation. Either consent to pay the sum for me, or I'll attach you by this officer.
Consent to pay that I never had? Arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest.
Here's thy fee. Arrest him, officer. I would not spare my brother in this case if he should scorn me so apparently.
I do arrest you, sir. You hear the suit.
I do obey thee till I get thee bail. But, sirrah, you shall buy the sport as dear as all the metal in your shop will answer.
Sir, I will have law in Ephesus to your notorious name. I doubt it not.
Master, there's a bark of epidemium that stays but till her owner comes aboard, and then, sir, she bears away. Our fartage, sir, I have conveyed aboard, and I have brought the oil, the balsam, and aquavitae. The ship is in her trim. Their merry wind blows fair from land. They stay for not all, but for their owner, master, and yourself.
How now, a madman? Why, thou peevish sheep, what ship of epidemium stays for me?
A ship you sent me to hire waftage.
Thou drunken slave, I sent thee for a rope and told thee to what purpose and what end.
You sent me for a rope's end as soon as you sent me to the bay, sir, for a bark.
I will debate this matter at more leisure, and teach your ears to listen with more heed. To Adriana, villain, hie thee straight. Give her this key, and tell her in the desk that covered over with Turkish tapestry there's a purse of ducats. Let her send it. Tell her I am arrested in the street, and that shall bail me. Hie thee, slave, be gone! On, officer, to prison till it come.
To Adriana. That is where we dined, where Dausabel did claim me for her husband. She is too big, I hope, for me to compass. Thither I must, although against my will, for masters must their servants' minds fulfill.
Luciana, did he tempt thee so? Mightest thou perceive austerely in his eye that he did plead in earnest? Yea or no? Look he or red, or pale, or sad, or merrily? What observation madest thou in this case of his heart's meteor tilting in his face?
First, he denied you had him in no right.
He meant he did me none, the more my spite.
Then swore he that he was a stranger here.
And true he swore, yet forsworn he were.
Then I pleaded for you.
And what said he?
That love I begged for you, he begged of me.
With what persuasion did he tempt thy love?
With words that in an honest suit might move. First he did praise my beauty, then my speech.
Didst speak him fair?
Have patience, I beseech.
I cannot, nor will not hold me still. My tongue, though my heart, shall have his will. He is deformed, crooked, old and sere, ill-faced, worse-bodied, shapeless everywhere, vicious, ungentle, foolish, blunt, unkind, stigmatical in making, worse in mind.
Who would be jealous then of such a one? No evil lost is wailed when it is gone.
But I think him better than I say. Yet would herein others' eyes were worse. Far from the nest, the lapwing cries away. My heart prays for him, though my tongue do curse.
Here, go, the desk, the purse, sweet, now make haste!
How hast thou lost thy breath?
By running fast.
Where is thy master, Dromio? Is he well?
No, he's in Tartar limbo, worse than hell. A devil in an everlasting garment hath him, one whose hard heart is buttoned up with steel. A fiend, a fairy, pitiless and rough, a wolf, nay, a fellow all in buff, a back friend, a shoulder clapper, one that countermands the passages of alleys, creeks, and narrow lands, a hound that runs counter and yet draws rifle well, one that before judgment carries poor souls to hell.
Why, man, what is the matter?
I did not know the matter. He is rested on the case.
What? Is he arrested? Tell me at whose suit.
I know not at whose suit he is arrested well, but it is in a suit of buff which did arrest him. That I can tell. Will you send him, mistress, redemption, the money in the desk?
Go fetch it, sister. This I wonder at. That he, unknown to me, should be in debt. Tell me, was he arrested on a band?
Not on a band, but on a stronger thing. A chain, a chain. Did you not hear a ring?
What? The chain?
No, the bell. 'Tis time that I were gone. It was 2 ere I left him, and now the clock strikes 1.
The hours come back, that did I never hear.
Oh yes, if any hour meet a sergeant, he turns back for very fear.
As if time were in debt. How fondly dost thou reason?
Time is the very bankrout that owes more than he's worth to season. Nay, he's a thief too. Have you not heard men say that time comes stealing on by night and day? If he be in debt and theft, and a sergeant in the way, hath he not any reason to turn back an hour and a day?
Go, Dromio. There's the money. Bear it straight and bring thy master home immediately. Come, sister. I am pressed down with conceit. Conceit, my comfort, and my injury.
There's not a man I meet but doth salute me as if I were their well-acquainted friend, and everyone doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me, some other give me thanks for kindnesses, some offer me commodities to buy. Even now a tailor called me in his shop and showed me silks that he had bought for me, and therewithal took measure of my body. Sure, these are but imaginary wiles, and the Lapland sorcerers inhabit here.
Master, here's the gold you sent me for. What? Have you got the picture of old Adam new apparelled?
What gold is this? What Adam dost thou mean?
Not that Adam that kept the paradise, but that Adam that keeps the prison. He that goes in the calf's skin that was killed for the prodigal. He that came behind you, sir, like an evil angel, and bid you forsake your liberty.
I understand thee not.
No? Why, 'tis a plain case. He that went like a bass viol in the case of leather. The man, sir, that when gentlemen are tired, gives them a sob and rests them. He, sir, that takes pity on decayed men and gives them suits of durance. He that sets up his rest to do more exploits with his mace than a Morris pike.
What, thou meanst an officer?
Aye, sir, the sergeant of the band. He that brings any man to answer that breaks his band. One that thinks a man is always going to bed and says, God give you good rest.
Well, sir, they're resting your foolery. Is there any ships put forth tonight? May we be gone?
Why, sir, I brought you word an hour since that the bark expedition put forth tonight, and then you are hindered by the sergeant to tarry for the hoy belay. Here are the angels that you sent me to deliver for you.
The fellow is distracted, and so am I, and here we wander in illusions. Some blessed power deliver us from hence.
Well met, Master Antipholus. I see, sir, you have found the goldsmith now. Is that the chain you promised me today?
O Satan, avoid, I charge thee, tempt me not.
Master, is this Mistress Satan?
It is the devil.
Nay, she is worse. She is the devil's dam, and she comes in the habit of a light wench. And therefore comes that wenches say, God damn me. And that's as much to say, God make me a light wench. It is written, they appear to men like angels of light. Light is an effect of fire, and fire will burn. Ergo, light wenches will burn. Come not near her.
Your man and you are marvelous merry, sir. Will you go with me? We'll mend our dinner here.
Master, if you do, expect meat or bespeak a long spoon.
Why, Dromio?
Mary, he must have a long spoon that must eat with the devil.
Avoid then, fiend. What tellest thou me of supping? Art thou, as you all are, a sorceress? I conjure thee to leave me and be gone.
Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner, or for my diamond, the chain you promised, and I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
Some devils ask but the parings of one nailed, a rush, a hair, a drop of blood, a pin, a nut, a cherry stone, but she, more covetous, would have a chain. Master, be wise, and if you give it her, the devil will shake her chain and fright us with it.
I pray you, sir, my ring, or else the chain. I hope you do not mean to cheat me so.
Avaunt, thou witch! Come, Dromio, let us go.
Fly, pride, says the peacock. Mistress, that you know.
Now, out of doubt, Antipholus is mad, else would he never so demean himself. A ring he hath of mine worth 40 ducats, and for the same he promised me a chain. Both one and other he denies me now. The reason that I gather he is mad, besides this present instance of his rage, is a mad tale he told today at dinner of his own doors being shut against his entrance. Belike his wife, acquainted with his fits, on purpose shut the doors against his way. My way is now to hie home to his house and tell his wife that, being lunatic, he rushed into my house and took perforce my ring away. This course I fittest choose, for 40 ducats is too much to lose.
Fear me not, man. I will not break away. I'll give thee, ere I leave thee, so much money to warrant thee as I am rested for. My wife is in a wayward mood today, and will not lightly trust the messenger that I should be attached in Ephesus. I tell you, 'twill sound harshly in her ears. Here comes my man. I think he brings the money. How now, sir? Have you that I sent you for?
Here's that I warrant will pay them all.
But where's the money?
Why, sir, I gave the money for the rope.
500 ducats, villain, for a rope?
I'll serve you, sir, 500 at the rate.
To what end did I bid thee hie thee home?
To a rope's end, sir, and to that end I am returned.
To that end, sir, I will welcome you.
Sir, be patient.
Nay, rather, 'tis for me to be patient. I am in adversity.
Good now, hold thy tongue.
Nay, rather persuade him to hold his hands.
Thou whoreson, senseless villain!
I would I were senseless, sir, that I might not feel your blows.
Thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so is an ass.
I am an ass, indeed. You may prove it by my long years. I have served him from the hour of my nativity to this instant, and I have nothing at his hands for my service but blows. When I am cold, he heats me with beating. When I am warm, he cools me with beating. I am waked with it when I sleep, raised with it when I sit, driven out of doors with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders as a beggar want her brat, and I think that when he hath lamed me, I shall beg with it from door to door.
Come, go along, my wife is coming yonder.
Mistress, respice finum, respect your end, or rather, like the prophecy, like the parrot, beware the rope's end.
Wilt thou still talk?
How say you now? Is not your husband mad?
His incivility confirms no less.
Alas, how fiery and sharp he looks.
Mark how he trembles in his ecstasy.
Peace, doting wife, peace, I am not mad.
That thou were not, poor distressed soul.
Did you, wife and sister, revel and feast at my house today, whilst upon me the guilty doors were shut, and I denied to enter in my house?
Oh, husband, God doth know you dined at home, where you had remained until this time, free from these slanders and this open shame.
Dined at home! Thou, villain, what sayst thou?
Sir, sooth to say, you did not dine at home.
Were not my doors locked up and I shut out?
Perdie, your doors were locked and you shut out.
And did not she herself revile me there?
Sans fable, she herself reviled you there.
And did not her kitchen maid rail, taunt, and scorn me?
Search she did. The kitchen vestal scorned you.
And did I, enraged, depart from thence?
In verity you did. My bones bear witness that since have felt the vigor of his rage.
Thou hast suborned the goldsmith to arrest me.
Alas, I sent the money to redeem you by Dromio here, who came in haste for it.
Money by me? Heart and goodwill you might, but surely, master, not a rag of money.
Whence not thou to her for a purse of ducats?
He came to me, and I delivered it.
And I am witness with her that she did.
God and the rope maker bear me witness that I was sent for nothing but a rope.
Say wherefore didst thou lock me forth today? And why dost thou deny the bag of gold?
I did not, gentle husband, lock thee forth.
And, gentle master, I received no gold, but I confess, sir, that we were locked out.
Disassembling villain, thou speakest false in both.
Disassembling harlot, thou art false in our all, and art confederate with a damned pack to make a loathsome abject scorn of me. But with these nails I'll pluck out these false eyes that would behold in me this shameful sport.
What wilt thou do, thou peevish officer? Hast thou delight to see a wretched man do outrage and displeasure to himself?
He is my prisoner. If I let him go, the debt he owes will be required of me.
I will discharge thee ere I go from thee. Bear me forthwith unto his creditor, and, knowing how the debt grows, I will pay it.
Oh, most unhappy strumpet.
Master, I am here entered in bond for you.
Out on thee, villain! Wherefore dost thou mad me?
Will you be bound for nothing? Be mad, good master. Cry the devil!
God help poor souls! How idly do they talk!
Go bear him hence. Say, whose suite is he arrested at?
One Angelo, a goldsmith. Do you know him?
I know the man. What is the sum he owes?
200 ducats.
Say, how grows it due?
Due for a chain your husband had of him.
He did bespeak a chain for me, but had it not.
When as your husband, all enraged today, came to my house and took away my ring, the ring I saw upon his finger now, straight after did I meet him with a chain.
It may be so, but I never did see it. Come, jailer, bring me where the goldsmith is. I long to know the truth hereof at large.
God for thy mercy! They are loose again!
And come with naked swords. Let us call more help to have them bound again.
Away! They'll kill us!
I see. These witches are afraid of swords.
She that would be your wife now ran from you.
Come to the centaur. Fetch our stuff from thence. I long that we were safe and sound aboard.
Faith, stay here this night. They will surely do us no harm. You saw they speak us fair. Give us gold. Methinks they are such a gentle nation that for but the mountain of mad flesh that claims marriage of me, I could find it in my heart to stay here still and turn witch.
I will not stay tonight for all the town. Therefore away to get our stuff aboard.
I am sorry, sir, that I have hindered you, but I protest he had the chain of me, though most dishonestly he doth deny it.
How is the man esteemed here in the city?
Of revered reputation, sir, of credit infinite, highly beloved, second to none that lives here in the city. His word might bear my wealth at any time.
Speak softly. Yonder, as I think he walks.
'Tis so, and that self-chain about his neck which he forswore most monstrously to have. Good sir, draw near to me, I'll speak to him. Signor Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me to such shame and trouble, and not without some scandal to yourself with circumstance and oath so to deny this chain, which you now wear so openly. Besides the charge, the shame, imprisonment, you have done wrong to this, my honest friend, who, but for staying on our controversy, had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had of me, can you deny it?
I think I had. I never did deny it.
Yes, that you did, sir, and forswore it too.
Who heard me to deny it or forswore it?
These ears of mine, thou knowest, did hear thee. Fie on thee, wretch! 'Tis pity thou list to walk where any honest men resort.
Thou art a villain to impeach me thus. I'll prove mine honor and mine honesty against thee presently if thou dare stand.
I dare, and do defy thee for a villain!
Old, hurt him not, for God's sakes, he is mad. Some get within. Take his sword away. Bind Dromio, bear them to my house.
Run, master, run! For God's sakes, take a house! This is some priory, in, or we are spoiled.
Be quiet, people. Wherefore throng you hither?
To fetch my poor distracted husband hence. Let us come in, that we may bind him fast and bear him home for his recovery.
I knew he was not in his perfect wits.
I'm sorry now that I did draw on him.
How long hath this possession held the man?
This week he hath been heavy, sour, sad, and much different from the man he was. But till this afternoon his passion never broke into extremity of rage.
Hath he not lost much wealth by rack of sea? Buried some dear friend? Hath not else his eye strayed his affection and unlawful love, a sin prevailing much in youthful men who give their eyes the liberty of gazing? Which of these sorrows is he subject to?
To none of these, except it be the last, namely some love that drew him oft from home.
You should for that have reprehended him.
Why, so I did.
Aye, but not rough enough.
As roughly as my modesty would let me.
Happily in private.
And in assemblies too.
Aye, but not enough.
It was the copy of our conference. In bed he slept not for my urging it. At board he fed not for my urging it. Alone it was the subject of my theme. In company I often glanced it. Still did I tell him it was vile and bad.
And thereof came it that the man was mad. The venom clamors of a jealous woman poisons more deadly than a mad dog's tooth. It seems his sleeps were hindered by thy railing, and thereof comes it that his head is light. Thou sayest his meat was sauced with thy upbraidings. Unquiet meals make ill digestions, thereof the raging fire of fever bred, and what's a fever but a fit of madness? Thou sayest his sports were hindered by thy brawls, sweet recreation barred. What doth ensue but moody and dull melancholy, kinsman to grim and comfortless despair, and at her heels a huge infectious troop of pale distempered and foes to life, in food, in sport, and life-preserving rest to be disturbed would mad, or man, or beast. The consequence is, then thy jealous fits hath scared thy husband from the use of wits.
She never reprehended him but mildly, when he demeaned himself rough, rude, and wildly. Why bear you these rebukes and answer not?
Did betray me to my own reproof. Good people, enter and lay hold on him.
No, not a creature enters in my house.
Then let your servants bring my husband forth.
Neither. He took this place for sanctuary, and it should privilege him from your hands, till I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labor in assaying it.
I will attend my husband, be his nurse, diet his sickness, for it is my office, and I will have no attorney but myself. And therefore, let me have him home with me.
Be patient, for I will not let him stir till I have used the approved means I have, with wholesome spirits, drugs, and holy prayers to make him a formal man again. It is a branch and parcel of mine oath, a charitable duty of my order. Therefore, depart and leave him here with me.
I will not hence and leave my husband here. And ill it doth beseech your holiness to separate the husband and the wife.
Be quiet and depart, thou shalt not have him.
Complain unto the Duke of this indignity.
Come, go. I will fall prostrate at his feet and never rise until my tears again pass.
By this, I think, the dial points at 5. Anon, I'm sure the Duke himself in person comes this way to the melancholy vale, the place of death and sorry execution behind the ditches of the abbey here.
Upon what cause?
To see a reverend Syracusian merchant, who put unluckily into this bay against the laws and statutes of this town, beheaded publicly for his offense.
See where they come. We will behold his death.
Kneel to the Duke before he pass the abbey.
Yet once again proclaim it publicly. If any friend will pay the sum for him, he will not die. So much we tender him.
Justice smote against the abbess.
She is a virtuous and reverend lady. It cannot be that she has done thee wrong.
May it please your grace, Antipholus, my husband, who I made lord of me and all I had at your important letters, this ill day a most outrageous fit of madness took him, that desperately he hurried through the streets. With him his bondman, all as mad as he, doing displeasures to citizens by rushing in their houses, bearing hence rings, jewels, anything his rage did like. Whence did I get him bound and sent him home, whilst take order from the wrongs I went, that here and there his furies had committed. Anon I wot not by what strong escape he broke from those that had guard of him, and with his mad attendant and himself, each one with ireful passion and drawn swords, met us again, and madly bent on us, chased us away till rays of more aid. We came again to bind them. Then they fled into this abbey, whither we pursued them. And here the abbess shuts the gates on us, and will not suffer us to fetch him out. nor send him forth that we may bear him hence. Therefore, most gracious Duke, with thy command, let him be brought forth and borne hence for help.
Long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I to thee engaged a prince's word when thou didst make him master of thy bed, to do all the good and grace I could. Go, some of you, knock at the abbey gate, and bid the lady abbess come to me. I will determine this before I stir.
Oh, mistress, mistress, shift and save yourself. My master and his man are both broke loose.
Peace, fool! Thy master and his man are here, and that is a false thou dost report to us.
Mistress, upon my life, I tell you true. I have not breathed almost since I did see it. He cries for you, and vows if he could take you, to scorch your face and to disfigure you. Hark, hark, I hear him, mistress. Fly, be gone.
Come, stand by me, fear nothing. Guard with halberds.
Ay me, it is my husband. Witness you that he was born about invisible. Even now we housed him in the abbey here, and now he's there. Hast thought of human reason.
Justice, most gracious Duke. Oh, grant me justice, even for the service that long since I did thee when I bestood thee in the wars and took deep scars to save my life. Even for the blood that then I lost for thee, now grant me justice.
Unless the fear of death doth make me dote, I see my son Antipholus and Dromio?
Justice, sweet prince, against that woman there, she whom thou gave to me to be my wife, that has abused and dishonored me, even in the strength and height of injury. Beyond imagination is the wrong that she this day hath shameless thrown on me.
Discover how, and thou shalt find me just.
This day, great Duke, she shut the doors upon me while she with harlots feasted in my house.
A grievous fault. Say, woman, didst thou so?
No, my good lord. Myself, he, and my sister did dine together. So befall my soul, as this is false, he burdens me withal.
Ne'er may I look on day nor sleep on night, but she tells to your highness simple truth.
Oh, perjured woman, they are both forsworn, and in this the madman justly chargeth them.
My liege, I am advised what I say, neither disturbed with the effect of wine, nor heady rash provoked with raging ire, albeit my wrongs might make one wiser mad. This woman locked me out this day from dinner. That goldsmith there, were he not packed with her, could witness it, for he was with me then, who parted with me to go fetch a chain, promising to bring it to the Porpentine, where Balthazar and I did dine together. Our dinner done, and he not coming thither, I went to seek him out. In the street I met him, and in his company that gentleman. There did this perjured goldsmith swear me down that I this day of him received the chain, which God he knows I saw not, for the which he did arrest me with an officer. I did obey, and sent my peasant home for certain ducats. He with none returned. Then fairly I bespoke the officer to go in person with me to my house. By the way, we met my wife, her sister, and a rabble more of vile confederates. Then all together they fell upon me, bound me, bore me thence, and in a dark and dankish vault at home they left me and my man both bound together, till gnawing with my teeth my bonds in sunder, I gained my freedom, and immediately ran hither to your grace, whom I beseech to give me ample satisfaction for these deep shames and great indignities.
My lord, in truth, thus far I witnessed with him that he dined not at home, but was locked out. But had he a chain of thee, or no? He had, my lord, and when he ran in here, these people saw the chain about his neck.
Besides, I will be sworn these ears of mine heard you confess you had the chain of him after you first forswore it on the mart, and thereupon I drew my sword on you, and then you fled into this abbey here, from whence I think you are come by miracle.
I never came within these abbey walls, nor ever didst I draw thy sword, nor ever didst thou draw thy sword on me. I never saw the chain, so help me heaven, and this is false you burden me withal.
Why, what an intricate impeach this is. I think you have all drunk from Circe's cup. If here you housed him, here he would have been. If he were mad, he would not plead so coldly. You say he died at home. The goldsmith here denies that saying. Sirrah, what say you?
Sir, he dined with her there at the Porpentine.
He did, and from my finger snatched that ring.
'Tis true, my liege, this ring I had of her.
Saw'st thou him enter at the abbey here?
As sure, my liege, as I do see your grace.
Why, this is strange. Go call the abbess hither. I think you were all mated or stark mad.
Most mighty Duke, vouchsafe me speak a word. Haply I see a friend will save my life and pay the sum that may deliver me.
Speak freely, Syracusian, what thou wilt.
Is not your name, sir, called Antipholus? And is that not your bondman, Dromio?
Within this hour I was his bondsman, sir, but he, I thank him, gnawed into my cords. Now I am Dromio, and his man, unbound.
I am sure of you. Both of you remember me.
Ourselves we do remember, sir, by you.
Why you look strange on me? You know me well.
I never saw you in my life till now.
Oh, grief hath changed me since you saw me last, and careful hours with time's deformed hand have written strange defeatures in my face. But tell me yet, dost thou not know my voice?
Neither.
Dromio, nor thou?
No, trust me, sir, nor I.
I am sure thou dost.
I, sir, but I am sure I do not. And whatever so a man designs, you are now bound to believe him.
Not know my voice? O time's extremities, hast thou so cracked and splitted my poor tongue in 7 short years, that here my only son knows not my feeble key of untuned cares? Though now this grained face of mine be hid in sap-consuming winter's drizzled snow, and all the conduits of my blood froze up, yet hath my night of life some memory, my wasting lamp some glimmer of left, my dull, deaf ears a little used to hear all these old witnesses. I cannot. Tell me thou art my son Antipholus.
I never saw my father in my life.
But 7 years since, in Syracuse, boy. Thou knowst we parted, but perhaps, my son, thou shamest to acknowledge me in misery.
The Duke and all that know me in the city can witness with me that it is not so. I ne'er saw Syracuse in my life.
I tell thee, Syracusan, 20 years have I been patron to Antipholus, during which time he ne'er saw Syracuse. I see thy age and dangers make thee dote.
Most mighty Duke, behold a man much wronged.
I see 2 husbands, or my eyes deceive me.
One of these 2 men is genius to the other, and so of these, which is the natural man and which is the spirit? Who decides?
I, sir, am Dromio. Command him away. I, sir, am Dromio. Pray let me stay.
Egeon, art thou not, or else his ghost?
Oh, my old master, who hath bound him here?
Whoever bound him, I will loose his bonds and gain a husband by his liberty. Speak, old Egeon, if thou beest the man that once hadst a wife called Amelia, that bore thee at burden 2 fair sons. Oh, if thou beest the same Egeon, speak, and speak unto the same Amelia.
Why, here begins this morning's story right. These 2 Antipholus, these 2 so alike, and these 2 Dromios, one in semblance. Besides her urging of her racket, see, these are the parents to these children, which accidentally are met together.
If I dream not, thou art Amelia. If thou art she, tell me, where is that son that floated with thee on the fatal raft? By men of Epidemium, he and I and the twin Dromio were all taken up. But by and by, rude fishermen of Corinth by force took Dromio and my son from them. And me they left with those of Epidemium. What then became of them, I cannot tell you. I to this fortune that you see me in.
Antipholus, thou camest from Corinth first?
Oh, no, sir, not I. I came from Syracuse.
Stand apart, I know not which is which.
I came from Corinth, my most gracious lord.
And I with him.
Brought to this town by that most famous warrior, Duke Menaphon, your most renowned uncle.
Which one of you 2 to dine with me today?
I, gentle mistress.
And you're not my husband.
No, I'll say nay to that. And so do I, yet she did call me so, and this fair gentlewoman here, her sister, did call me brother. What I told you then, I hope I shall have leisure to make good, if this be not a dream I see in here.
That is the chain, sir, which you had of me.
Oh, I think it be, sir. I deny it not.
And you, sir, for this chain arrested me.
I think I did, sir. I deny it not.
I sent you money, sir, to be your bail by Dromio, but I think he brought it not.
No, none by me.
Oh, this purse of ducats I received from you, and Dromio, my man, didn't bring them me. I see we didn't meet each other's man, and I was ta'en for him, and he for me, and thereupon these errors arose.
These ducats pawn I for my father here.
It shall not need. Thy father hath his life.
Sir, I must have that diamond from you.
There, take it. A much thanks for my good cheer.
Renowned Duke, vouchsafe to take the pains to go with us into the abbey here and here at large discourse all our fortunes, and all that are assembled in this place by this sympathized one day's error have suffered wrong. Go, keep us company, and we shall make full satisfaction. 33 years have I gone but in travail of you, my sons, until this present hour my heavy burden ne'er delivered. The Duke, my husband, and my children both, and you, the calendars of their nativity, go to a gossip's feast and go with me. After so long grief, such nativity.
With all my heart, I will gossip at this feast.
Master, shall I fetch your stuff from the shipboard?
Dromio, what stuff of mine hast thou embarked?
Your goods, sir, that lay at host in the Centaur.
No, he speaks to me. I am your master, Dromio. Come, go with us. We'll look to that anon. Embrace thy brother there. Rejoice with him.
Will you walk in to see their gossiping? Lead thou first. Nay, then, thus. We came into the world like brother and brother, and now let's go hand in hand, not one before another.